All right, guys, we got ourselves some major breaking news here. Don Lemon has officially been arrested by federal authorities, according to a statement from his attorney. The arrest comes after the Justice Department promised to go after and pursue charges against Don Lemon after he covered a protest in a Minnesota church. I'm sure you guys remember. A bunch of protesters stormed this church while people were in the middle of worshiping the Lord, and Don Lemon was involved in that. I don't know if he was actually a part of it, um, but he definitely went in there with them and was interviewing them and all that stuff. And the other interesting thing too is, if you guys remember, they actually tried to go after Don Lemon like right after it happened. This is like weeks ago now. And what actually happened was a judge actually struck it down and said no. So you can see right here from CBS News. Again, this happened on January 22nd. A judge refused to charge former CNN anchor Don Lemon in the anti-ICE protests at a Minnesota church. So they went after a few of the other people who were involved. They were able to get them, but the judge was like, "I'm not signing off on you getting Don Lemon." Um, I guess the judge didn't believe that there was enough evidence to go after him. I don't know. And then there was something else right after the judge said that they weren't going. That the judge wasn't going to sign off on them going after and arresting Don Lemon. Don Lemon actually went on like a whole like speaking tour about it and kind of like mocking it and making fun of it. And he's like, "Yeah, they can say what they want, but I say this here. You know, if you want to go after me, come and get me. Keep trying." He said basically right here, Don Lemon dares Pam Bondi to try and arrest him. He said, "I stand tall, I stand proud. Keep trying. You're never going to get me. You're not going to be able to arrest me. You can't get me." What's funny is on today's episode of F Around and Find Out, this is actually an assistant to the attorney general. This person right here works in the attorney general's office. She just simply responded, "Okay, you want us to keep trying? Okay, we are going to keep trying." And now they finally actually got him. Um, Let me play the actual statement if I can find it. I thought I had it. Let me get the lawyer's statement for you guys real quick, because there's an actual. There it is right here. So this is a statement from the lawyer. And so the lawyer says, this is a statement from Don Lemon's attorney. The attorney says Don Lemon was taken into custody by federal agents last night in Los Angeles, where he was covering the Grammy Awards. Don has been a journalist for 30 years, and his constitutionally protected work in Minneapolis was no different than what he has always done. The First Amendment exists to protect journalists whose role it is to shine light on the truth and hold those in power accountable. There is no more important time for people like Don to be doing his work. Instead of investigating the federal agents who killed two peaceful Minnesota protesters, the Trump Justice Department is devoting its time, attention, and resources to this arrest. And that is the real indictment of wrongdoing in this case. This unprecedented attack on the First Amendment and transparent attempt to distract attention from the many crises facing this administration will not stand. Don will fight these charges vigorously and thoroughly in court. So that is what the lawyer had to say. According to this NBC News article, Don Lemon, 59 years old, was taken into custody by federal agents last night. It was not immediately clear why Lemon was charged. We all know why Lemon was charged. It's because of that thing with the church. However, the Justice Department promised to pursue charges against Lemon after the independent journalist covered a protest in a Minnesota church. Yes, they did, and they got him. That is what happened. 3 people who protested the same church service Lemon covered were also arrested. Demonstrators gathered at the service because its pastor allegedly works for Immigration and Customs. Let's read this New York Post article here. What I'm interested in seeing is what exactly they're charging him for. That's really what I want to see. Here we go. So Don Lemon was arrested yesterday and he spent the night in jail. So it says here, Don Lemon spent the night in jail and is expected to make a first appearance in court sometime Friday. Then it says the First Amendment exists to protect journalists whose role it is to shine light on the truth and hold those in power accountable. Oh, the same lawyer that Don Lemon is using is the exact same lawyer that represented Hunter Biden. You can see that right here. This guy, Mr. Lowell, also represented Hunter Biden. So obviously one of those high-powered, expensive attorneys that's well known in that field. Then it says it was not immediately clear what he's facing. However, Lemon has been accused of violating the Enforcement Act of 1871, which bans interference with certain civil rights. I believe that this is the KKK Act. I think this is what they're talking about, such as voting or serving on juries, or in this case, the right to practice one's religion, also known as the Ku Klux Klan Act. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's the KKK Act. It originally was created to prevent the racial terrorist group from paramilitary vigilantism. Initially, Lemon tried to get out of facing criminal conspiracy charges by claiming he was committing journalism while taking part in the church disruption. Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights, Harmeet Dillon, told conservative podcaster Benny Johnson on Tuesday, whenever anyone conspires to violate the protected civil rights of American citizens, the KKK Act can be used to bring a conspiracy charge. But the video posted by Lemon himself before, during, and after the church takeover showed he was very much part of the group under the guise of chronicling the event as a reporter. All right, so there you go. Looks like Don Lemon has been arrested. That is what happened. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comments. This is a breaking story, so I'm sure that we'll get more details. There may even be a press conference about it coming up. But anyway, that's what happened. And yeah, that's today's video. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you guys in the next one.